Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Join today for the Better Business Bureau here in southern Wisconsin, or maybe all of Wisconsin. I don't know. Tiffany's everywhere, I think.
Mostly here in Dane County, but you might see me somewhere else.
Southern Wisconsin. Come on. It is Tiffany Schultz back today as we have our business tips here. And today we're going to talk a little bit about AI storage. AI is definitely a tricky area. We've said it a couple of times on the show that we know there's going to be more safety and information coming as we learn more about it. But AI has been there for a long time. I think it's identified and more in user hands now than it ever has been. But you got to respect it and you got to understand it and you want to stay safe. So we're not here to create fear, but create understanding and points of we want to know these things, be ready to go.
As a business owner, AI can substantially help streamline your operations, but you need to know how to use it and you need to know what kind of data you're looking for. Because if you're collecting data that you're not going to use, that's an unnecessary capture. It's an unnecessary expense. And then you have to store that data too. So lots of things go in here as we talk about AI, otherwise known as artificial intelligence.
So let's talk about planning secure. We're talking about the storing of data. So your first point here is get clear on what kind of data that you need, which you kind of already mentioned a little bit, but what are we talking about?
This data can streamline your customer service operations. It can streamline your hiring operations, even your employee training operations. So really identify as a business owner what type of data you need to collect. What piece of your business do you want to use AI on? And then collect that necessary data for that project. The unnecessary stuff, maybe there's some stuff that you may use in the future, but really focus on your needs right now.
And sticking with that, just the collection plan and choosing the right application. You got to do your. I love my favorite. One of my favorite things you say is doing your homework on it. But when you're making those decisions, you really got to read into it.
Yeah, and really decide who you're going to pinpoint for this project too. Decide how you're going to collect that data. Are you going to buy the data? Are you going to capture the data through means that you already have? Such as information that the consumer provides to you, but who's going to oversee that task? Who's going to be that point person? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be an employee? Are you going to hire an outside company to do that for you? Have a plan.
Yeah. Well, that's where the AI can come in and help streamline things, but the other part of it is making sure that it's clear, concise, like this, clean and organized. Very important.
When you get that data that you have is going to need to be cleaned up. You're going to need to fix spelling errors. Maybe there's duplicate data in there. It's going to be a time commitment to clean that data up and organize it in the way that you're going to need to organize it. For example, if you are going to be implementing AI in your customer service operations, get a customer service person involved in that task. They're going to know what could be streamlined, what your needs are going to be, and they're going to be a valuable resource as you move forward with that project.
Oh, it's complicated. It's a lot of things. I think it's hard to think about data and thinking about how using these tools, that can help prove and do things, but there's so many things behind it. I like this one. Think about the data and where it lives, where it's go, how you need to, oh my gosh. This is like deep stuff. We never get this deep.
Your data needs to be stored. It's just not going to float out there. Are you going to store it through a third party? Are you going to store it on a cloud? How are you going to keep that secure and who has access to it? When you work with AI, there are 4 pieces of the puzzle to implementing AI. And each piece of that puzzle needs to be stored somewhere along the way. So you're going to need significant storage. You're going to need to evaluate the storage systems that you already have in-house, or are you going to use a provider to do that for you?
And this would be to prevent things like if you're not managing it, what if something accidentally gets out there? or that you or trade secret or something like. Oh my gosh.
Right. You don't want to create a data breach, especially with customer information.
Yes. All right. Finally, training your staff. That's got to be a must, I would think, in all of this because it's fast changing.
Keeping your staff informed as you move through the process is really important so that when you do go ahead and implement it, everybody is well versed. There are going to be bumps along the way, but if you can use this data correctly and all of your employees can get on board with it and know exactly what to do with it, you're going to have a much better user experience. Now, if the outcome of the data that you're looking to achieve does not provide you those results, it may be a good idea to invest a data scientist in it, or reevaluate what type of data you're using for that outcome.
I was just going to say, maybe to clarify, when you say data, it can mean a lot of different things. What would be some examples of data that businesses might be, or if somebody's like, when you say data, what do you mean?
It could really be anything. So if you are using it for employee training purposes, maybe it's the data that's provided in your handbook. If it's customer service, maybe it's previous customers instead of your customer service team reaching out to those previous customers. Maybe you automate that. So any type of data that your business collects or can buy can be used to your advantage when you use AI.
Woofda. All right. Well, I don't think it sounds like a lot, but by managing it and taking these proactive steps, I think you can be pretty successful in doing this. And I think just taking it step by step and understanding what you're dealing with and how deep you can go with it, I think is a must. But I bet you there's a way to learn more about this in a place that may use AI. I don't know. Maybe you guys do or don't. I don't know. Tell us.
We have a news section on our website, bbb.org. If you're looking for a provider who can help you implement AI, you can search those on bbb.org.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we need a lot of hand-holding in this area just to understand. But once you get your handle on it, it can do some pretty amazing things. So it's pretty fascinating.
Definitely streamline your business operations.
All right, Tiffany, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.